there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Okay, Suzanne, thank you, everybody. So, welcome to that you never leave. Welcome to yourself. Welcome to truth. Welcome to the self that you are. You never leave yourself. You're always that. The eternity, infinity, magnificence of the self. You are that. Yes, I am recording, Tara. Thanks. So the contemplation of the self is a constant reminder. It's constantly reminding yourself of truth, reminding yourself of what you truly are. First, there is the remembrance. Remembering that what you are is not something that is born in time and space. That what you are is not an event, not something that's appearing. Remembering that what you are is peace, freedom, truth, infinity, eternity, and not an event in time and space. This is a crucial remembrance. It is a crucial remembrance because of our forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is an identification with a form. Any identification is a limitation, is an addition, a limitation onto your infinity, onto the freedom that you are. But it's not a real limitation, because there are no possible limitation to truth, no possible limitation to freedom. There is no possible unhappiness to happiness. There are no boundaries to the self. Whatever you imagine yourself to be is a story. It's a mind event. The impression of time and space are a result of mentation. First, there is the person, there is the identification, the objectification of consciousness. And with that objectification comes space and time. Space in the sensory field, and time in the mental field. Both impressions of time and space and the material impression of objectified consciousness are dream events, none of which defines you, none of which defines what you truly are. Like in your night dreams, whatever you dream, whatever mind events you dream in your night dream, none of them defines you. None of them defines the dreamer. Irrespective of whatever you dream, you remain as that, the vastness of being. In this very moment, it is this vastness of being that hears these words, that perceives this perception. From its infinity, from its vastness, from its eternity, it dreams all perceptions, perceives all perceptions, and dissolves all perceptions. Out of its freedom, out of your freedom, the freedom of the self. Although you may on occasion forget that what you truly are is this borderless presence, this complete freedom. Although on occasion you may forget your innate happiness, your innate freedom, the innate happiness and freedom that you are, and identify with the body-mind, you still have available to you the return to consciousness, the return to truth, the return to your recognition, the recollection of what you truly are, that is not a phenomenon, that is not born in time and space, that is eternally available to you. And that's the beauty of consciousness. It's never absent. It is eternally present. It is eternal presence that you are. So accept its invitation. Accept your invitation from yourself to yourself. Say yes to that. Yes, I recognize that I am innate freedom, peace, there are no conditions upon what I am. All conditions are mentations that you dream, that you imagine out of your creative potential. None of which you need. So if there are any questions that you would like to explore, any clarification, any questions that you may have. Hello, Ananda. So you write the story of someone needing something seem compelling, but to whom? Yes, good question. Very good question. How does the self feel about its entertaining productions? Well, it feels all feelings. It feels the joy, the happiness, the creativity, the disappointment, disillusionment, the deception. One could say that the consciousness has infinite emissaries. All infinite minds are its emissaries, its tentacles, but all its tentacles are connected to it and arise out of it. And through its tentacles, it's a limited metaphor, okay? It's a limited metaphor. It's sort of experiencing all sorts of experiences, but the fact is, the reason why it's a limited metaphor is because it's not experiencing any external world. It's experiencing itself. So through every one of these tentacles, it's sort of channeling out of itself. For example, this very dream appearance right now, yes, which is consciousness that's taking on this form. So one could say, in that metaphor, that this is one of the teeny tiny bits of information, of experience that consciousness is having via one of its tentacles of itself. But consciousness is never feeling anything outside of itself. So it's like your own feeling. You're never feeling anything but yourself. You're experiencing your own feelings. You're experiencing yourself. You're feeling yourself. You as the self are feeling yourself out of your own freedom. And out of your own freedom, you also don't feel yourself, such as in deep sleep. You don't feel the body-mind event. The key thing to understand in your question is that consciousness is complete freedom. It is not feeling something that is being imposed onto it, something that is happening to it. It is actually experiencing or feeling itself, and it maintains in its experience its freedom.
It maintains throughout the
The night dream again is a good metaphor for that, because in a night dream, you, the dreamer, You feel all the feelings of all the dream characters that appear in your night dream. All the mind events that appear in your night dream are intimately being felt within yourself, out of yourself, as yourself, but they do not compromise your freedom. So the story of someone needing something is compelling to the dream character. In a way, at a higher level, only consciousness is. It's only the reality of consciousness. But the compelling aspect in your question doesn't apply to consciousness. There is nothing that compels consciousness, except if you want to play the compelling game within itself. But what sort of compelling is it when you are choosing to compel yourself? It's not really compelling, is it?
At least it's not confusing, I guess. I mean, I can see the self cannot be confused,
So
and yet it seems almost like it is self-confused in order to have the experience.
A sensation that arises upon our forgetting ourselves, of forgetting that we are the freedom, that we are presence, that we are the eternity of being.
Yes.
And when we identify with a body mind, we identify with Ananda, with Megdi, with Joe, with Joanna, whatever. In that identification, there is a retraction out of the wholeness of a seeming entity. And in that retraction, in that removal, then the external world appears. External world, others, external body minds appear. And then there is a relationship of need and personal desire and the whole sense of separative interactions, the sense of lack, the sense of feeling it, and a sense of urgency, personal risk. So when you contemplate to whom, to what are these thoughts, these sensations, these feelings, these desires arising, actually the only appearances are thoughts, perceptions, and sensations. You can call them desires, you can call them feelings, whatever, needing.
But you've already gone down the stream by the time you're saying that person or that something.
Sensations. When you contemplate that question, to whom are they appearing? Who or what is it that is needing this or that object, or this or that relationship, this or that event, this or that experience? You're turning your attention to consciousness. That question goes directly to consciousness. So it's consciousness that asks this question: what am I? What is the reality that is experiencing this perception right now? We can all do that right now. Ask ourselves this question: to what, to whom is this perception appearing? You will find that this question is a vast question that goes beyond any mental answer. Just to remain with that question, allow that question to be, because that question brings you to consciousness.
And then
any mind answer is not the correct answer, because all mind answers are learned. They're borrowed.
Can you hear me?
Well, I hope I answered your question, Ananda.
Can you, huh. Can you hear me?
Oh, I don't hear you.
Oh. Now?
No.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Me type.
Okay, so you have a sound problem. Let me see if I can help you. Okay. Okay. Well, on my end, okay, on my end, you are unmuted.
Now? Okay, I don't know what.
Okay, well, in the meantime, until Ananda gets his. Okay, so Ananda, you're right when it is said that the whole universe is seen in a grain of sand. Can you say something of this? Well, oh, Tara, you can hear Ananda. I cannot hear him. That's really odd. Let me see one more time. Mm, mm, mm. I don't know. I cannot hear him. Okay, it's okay. Sorry, I can't hear him. We'll see if I can hear somebody else. Can somebody else talk to me? And can I hear somebody else? Anybody? Maru, can you hear me?
My computer says that you just muted Michael Costa.
Yes,
Can you hear me, Maru? Oh,
yes, I can hear you and I can hear
okay, let me
Ananda.
see. One moment. Aha. Okay, I hear you now. Yes.
What?
Okay. I am sorry about that.
You know,
I once again, my technical prowess is proving itself. I had everybody muted here on. Okay, fine. Okay.
well, the thing is, the technology is incredible, and the fact that we can do this at all
Yes.
overshadows the little problems.
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. So let me go back to your question about. It is said the whole universe is seen in a grain of sand. It can only be said that you can perceive the whole universe in a grain of sand when that grain of sand takes you to consciousness. So when the object, in this case a grain of sand, takes you to that which is the reality of the grain of sand, which is the true perceiver, then we could say that yes, I see the universe in the grain of sand. But if you are seeing a grain of sand as an object, then you are a subject. And the object and the subject are both mind events. And in this case, you are just seeing a grain of sand. And you're not seeing the universe. So any perception takes you to the universe, meaning takes you to consciousness. Because by universe, in this quotation, the grain of sand, in the grain of sand you perceive the universe, meaning in a grain of sand you perceive the whole, you perceive totality, you perceive reality, you perceive truth. So any object that you perceive takes you to truth if it takes you to consciousness. In other words, if it takes you to that which truly perceives, and not just to an object perceived by a subject. So the object, when it comes to the subject and dissolves in the subject, and then the subject is no longer perceiving an object, it's perceiving itself. Then there is a recognition of the I am. Because I am is I am consciousness, and everything is consciousness.
I see. Yeah.
So
great. Great. Earlier, I had several. I tried to interject things in our conversation, and I thought, is he just tired of my interrupting, and he's just going, continuing on? But not the case.
One never knows.
Okay. But this is fantastic. This is just wonderful, and I thank you for this ongoing opportunity.
Great. Good to see you, Ananda. So if there are any other questions. So it's important in your worldly experience to return all the perceptions to the source. In other words, to recollect the true perceiver, not just to go from object to object to object, from object to mentation, to another object, to another sensation, to another emotion, another feeling, but to recollect what truly perceives. Until that which truly perceives is becomes so familiar to you that it no longer wants to leave you. Hello, Suzanne. Suzanne writes, this is not a question, but I am grieving the loss of relationship. Just a statement of where I am today. Well, sorry for your loss, Suzanne. There is a certain quality to grieving also that's impersonal, that's a melting, a warm, a tender. There is a tenderness to grieving, and warm memories, warm recollections, certain loving qualities in grieving. And a sense of connection beyond the form also. Sometimes we lose a loved one or somebody leaves us, but there is something that doesn't leave us. That's really beautiful. And it's not the person, it's that quality of connection, of indivisibility, this intimacy of intimacy that doesn't leave us. It's really very beautiful. So, in terms of what may help, I don't know, Suzanne, the details, but just do not personalize what's happening. Don't add a story, a personal story to this warmth, to this sweet grieving. Don't add a me, him, a her, and why, and this would have, this should have. Remain with the sweetness, with the love, with the warmth, with the heart, with that space within us that loves no matter what, that is loving no matter what. Don't add a mind. Don't take it to the mind. Keep it at the heart level. Keep it at the, and don't turn it into an emotion. Don't add a me story to it where it becomes an emotion. Just stay in your unknowing, at the sensory, deeper than sensory, at the heart level with it. There is a sweetness at the core of all of it. Just stay with that and allow that to be. We never leave truth. We never leave what we truly are. The comings and goings are at the surface level, at the heart level, at the core level. There is a wholeness that is never diminished or augmented by whatever unfolds in our life. There are visitors that come, they visit our heart to feel the love and to share the love and to celebrate the love. And when they go, they leave so much more than there's a blooming. So we open ourselves to that and not to the mind stories that are me, her, not to that. Yes, so you can celebrate that. You can celebrate that sweet grieving. There's a beauty to it. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Eva. So, Eva, you're right. I'm a very fearful person. Have always been, as I remember. I think all my decisions in life are based from past memories to avoid pain in the best way I can. Is it possible to live life without being controlled by past memories? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Is that freedom? Yes, it is. It is freedom. Is that to hand over to God? Yes, it's more than to hand over to God, because God already has her hand into everything. It's the only true hand that there is. Can you talk about that? I would only like to listen, not talk. Okay. Well, Eva, so first of all, you have never been a person. You have never been a person. A person, Eva, appears to you. The Eva character, the Eva experience, the Eva that you believe you are, the Eva that you feel you are, the Eva that you think you are. All of those are memories and sensations and images. They arise to you. When I say to you, I mean to the true you, because there is a dream you, the Eva in time and space, the memories, the feelings, the remembrances. That's the Eva in time and space, which I refer to as the dream character. And then there is the true you. The true you is consciousness, that which truly hears these words right now. Right now, what truly perceives this perception is consciousness. That is what you truly are. The person, Eva, is a dream character that is not a problem. There's a certain height, a certain color hair, a certain father, mother is born in a certain country. So it always refers to the body-mind, but it does not refer to you, what you truly are. So the first thing you need to contemplate, Eva, before dealing with the dream character, Eva, being a fearful person, the first thing you need to contemplate is what you truly are. So that is your first contemplation, your core contemplation. What is it that I truly am? What is it that truly perceives this perception right now? There is a reality. The reality is not the perception, but there is a reality that is perceiving. There is a knowingness, a true knowingness. That is what we refer to as I. I perceive. The true, the reality that perceives this perception, which I refer to as consciousness, awareness, presence. So before you go any further with your question about Eva being fearful and always having been fearful, you need to be clear that the fear and the fearfulness applies to Eva, the dream character, Eva, the person, Eva, the body-mind, but does not apply to you, consciousness. There are great implications, profound implications to this understanding if you arrive to it, which is available to you. And yes, you can arrive to it, that what you truly are is not something or someone or somebody, some form. Forms appear to you, like a tree appears to you. You perceive it, but you are not the tree. Your hand appears to you. You can look at it, perceive it, but you are not the hand. A bodily sensation appears to you. A toothache appears to you, but you are not the toothache. A memory appears to you, but you are not the memory. An image appears to you, a remembrance appears to you, but you are not the image. So that is your first contemplation, Eva. All your decisions in life are based from past memories. Well, this can change. But in order for that to change, you need to disconnect the train. You know, the wagons that are attached one to the other, you need to disconnect that. Meaning, you need to contemplate what you truly are, not just continue identifying yourself with a body-mind. There is a freshness to this moment, Eva. In this very moment, you don't choose this perception, it just appears to you. The thought that arises to you, for example, right now, if the thought arises, I'm just going to hypothetically pick a thought. Let's say a thought arises, gee, I love my mother. I didn't choose the thought as a person, this appears to me. You see? Thoughts appear to you, and your action follows your thoughts. If the thought, I'd love to have a glass of wine right now, arises to you, then you may get up and have a glass of wine. So your actions follow the thoughts that arise to you. You do not choose your thoughts, because if you did choose your thoughts, you would choose all happy thoughts across the board, which we all know we don't do. Yes. So allow your actions to be what they are without judging them. They arise as a result of whatever thoughts arise to you. Let them be. Don't try to fix your actions. Don't try to manage your behavior. Instead, contemplate what is the true actor, what is the true perceiver, what is the true knower. Contemplate, what am I truly? What is it that truly perceives? What is it that truly chooses? What is it that truly is? And from there on, there will be all sorts of shifts that will occur, but start with just that contemplation. And yes, it is possible to live life without being controlled by past memories. Absolutely. 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 And in order to live life not controlled by past memories, it is important for you to come to realize that you are not anything that is controlled or controllable. Only things are controllable. Only body minds are controllable and are controlled. But consciousness is not controllable or controlled. One could even say it is controlling, but we can leave that for another conversation. For now, it is enough to contemplate that consciousness is not controlled or controllable. What truly perceives as perception is consciousness. Without consciousness, what would this perception be, Eva? So the truth of this perception is consciousness. Not Eva, it is consciousness. Eva is the body-mind, female body-mind. But the true perceiver is consciousness. And that is not a thing. What appears is a form. You can refer to as a thing, a thought, an object, a sensation. But the knower of all perceptions is not a thing. And that, not being a thing, not being a form, is not controllable, because the entire conversation about controllable, controlling applies only to the phenomenal realm and not to the noumenal realm. The hand of God is everywhere ever. There is only the hand of God. The hand of God is everywhere. It's only the hand of God. So you're imagining the hand of Eva is just an illusion, because there is no hand to Eva. There's only the hand of God. There is no reality outside of the reality of God. There is no reality to Eva, to Magdi, to all these body-mind appearances outside of the reality of consciousness. There's only one reality, Eva, and not two. And that is the reality of consciousness. So I hope this is helpful to you in addressing your question, Eva. Otherwise, we can also continue that conversation, if not today, another day. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, hello, Maru.
Hi everybody. Hi. This morning there was this thought that came that said, what is it that thinks that I am this body mind? But the thing is that question is, what is this I? Because when I say that thinks that I am this body mind, what is this I? That character?
Okay, let me see if
Is
I'm
it
here.
clear what I'm asking?
Yeah, let me see if I'm
There seem to
gonna.
be like many eyes in here. I got confused.
Yeah, what is the I that thinks I am a body mind? Was that the question?
No.
No. Okay.
When I say what is it that thinks that I am this body mind?
Right.
What is this I? The question, what is this I?
Okay.
Because suddenly there appeared like many eyes.
Yes,
So
I
I got
understand.
confused. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's important, but
Yes.
it came up.
Yeah. Well, whenever we say I, we're always referring to one I. We always say I, I perceive, I I perceive a thought, I perceive a sensation, I perceive a headache, whatever. So we always say I, just the I. Now, have you ever experienced two I? Have you ever experienced any other I but I?
Sort
Huh? Hello, Maru, I did not hear you. Have you ever experienced
Sort of.
sort of? What do you mean?
You don't hear me?
Yes, now I hear you. You said sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's
So
like,
let's say you
yeah,
experience
because
another I. Let's say you experience another I, right? What is it that experiences this other I? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that experienced the other I? It is I, right? It's always I
Yeah, it's consciousness.
that is experiencing, yes, I'm experiencing 50 I's. But what is it that's experiencing? It's 50 I's.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one I.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that's experiencing this perception? I. What is it that's experiencing another I? I. It's always I. So if I am perceiving other I's, it's always referring to this one I that is perceiving. There's only one perceiving I. There's always one ultimate, let's say, I. There may be many sub-I's, many I dreamt eyes or perceived eyes, but in the end it all comes to this one I that is perceiving every I. In other words, the I that perceived breakfast this morning, let's say you were eating some cereal, you were perceiving the cereal, is the same I that right now is perceiving this screen. Yes? So it's only one reality, and not two. So when we ask the question, what is the I that chooses to forget itself? We're always referring to the only I, only one reality. There aren't two realities. There's only one reality, which is the reality of consciousness. So if you are experiencing another I and you're getting confused about which I you are, ask yourself, what is it that is experiencing this other I? When you ask this question, Maru, this question is going to take you back to the real I, to the true I, to the knowing I, to the perceiving I, to consciousness. Because only consciousness is conscious, only consciousness is perceiving. And that is the I, that is the reality, the real I. Now, we forget that the I is consciousness when we turn our attention via the senses. When we turn our attentions via the senses, we perceive a body-mind. And then we say, oh, wait a minute, there is something real. What is it that is real? And then we say, okay, well, it's the body-mind that is real. It is the body-mind that is the I. And we overlook the I of consciousness that is actually perceiving the body-mind. That is the reality of the perception, the reality of the body-mind experience. But when we ask ourselves, well, wait a minute, what is it that is perceiving this other I? What is it that is perceiving the body-mind? We go back in that question, we go back to the only reality, the reality of consciousness, the reality that perceives.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Now,
ask
when we talk,
yes.
There's like I hear you different than what I see, so maybe sometimes it's I don't know how to say it. It's a distance between what I see now in the screen and what I hear. Does it happen to you?
Oh yeah, there is a little lag, an echo, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Yes,
okay.
it's okay.
What I was going to say is, every time I say speaking, this I, is it the same I Is it the?
Yes, there is no other I.
There is no other I. When
No.
I say I am. I had breakfast. I'm referring to the same I.
Always. Whenever you say I, it's consciousness. The true I is consciousness. It is consciousness that's perceiving right now. It is consciousness that is hearing right now. I refers to consciousness. There is
And the things that,
no other
that
I.
are related to the body mind.
The body mind is perceived, is known. The body mind is known by I. The body mind is perceived by I. Like a tree, I perceive a tree. It is I that perceives the tree. Like I hear a motorcycle, it is I that hears the motorcycle. Always I consciousness, not I the body mind. The body mind is only an instrument, but the hearer, the reality belongs to consciousness, not to the instrument.
So the body mind is not an I.
No.
That's it.
No.
The
body mind
is
is a form, is a mind event. I refers to consciousness, to reality, what truly perceives, what does not change, what is not conditioned, that has no conditions to it. The reality, there is a reality to this perception. The reality of this perception is not a body-mind. It is consciousness. The true perceiver is not the instrument. It's not the body-mind. It is consciousness. You can remove the body-mind, but consciousness remains. You can remove the body, but consciousness remains. For example, in anesthesia, you remove the body, but consciousness remains. You still are. You still are, but the body is gone. In deep sleep, you remove the body, you remove the mind, you remove the world, but the I remains, I as consciousness. Right now, what truly perceives is that consciousness that has no limits to it, that is not dependent on anything. It's not dependent on the body-mind. But when you imagine yourself to be the body-mind, then you say, oh, I is the body-mind. That's a mistake. When you say I is the body-mind, then you experience that consciousness is going to end when the body ends. That consciousness is going to go with the body. So you imagine you have identified consciousness with the body-mind. That is a learned. You've learned that you are Maru, that you are a woman, that you are this girl, that you are this person, and you've accepted that. And so when you accepted that, also you started to feel like, oh yeah, I am this person, I am this body, I am this female form. But the I that hears these words, the I that is perceiving this, all these sensations, all these perceptions, all these thoughts, is not a female or a male, or it's not a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old. It doesn't grow in time and space. It's eternal. It is the I, that that I refer to as consciousness.
Mm. Okay, thank you. Very clear.
Okay, Maru. Okay. Okay. Good to see you, Maru. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So remain open to the possibility that what you truly are is not an event in time and space, is not in time and space. The time and space appear to you,
Mm-hmm.
but that what you truly are is not in time and space. Like when you are at night when you are dreaming, you're dreaming different countries, different people, different events, you might be dreaming of something happened in the year 1850 or something happening in the future. But all of these time and space events in your dream, that's not what you are. You are beyond that. You are the dreamer. The same thing with consciousness. Be open to the possibility that all these appearances, all the body-mind, all of the thoughts, the perceptions, the meditations, none of it is you. You are the knower of all of that. None of it defines you. None of it describes you. Yes. What you truly are is consciousness. You're not in time and space. If there is a confusion about the I, just always ask yourself, what is it that is perceiving? What is it that's truly perceiving? It's not the body that is perceiving. The body is simply an instrument. It's not the binoculars that perceive. It is the bird watcher. It is the scientist that's perceiving. It's not the instrument that perceives. Okay, that's very important that you realize you are not an instrument. You are consciousness. You are the true perceiver. Yes. And the perceiver, the true perceiver, is free of the instrument. When you're done using the binoculars to watch the birds, you put the binoculars away. Same thing with the body. When you're done with the body, you just put it away.
Mm-hmm.
Consciousness is
To
freedom.
always go back to the same. Excuse me.
Yes, always refer to consciousness.
That to consciousness. Yeah,
Yes,
it's always there.
the reality is consciousness. The truth is consciousness. Always return to consciousness. Release everything to consciousness. Release your body, mind. Release all the sensations to consciousness. Release the mind. Let it go to consciousness. And recognize yourself as the consciousness, as that, the true perceiver. That is not a form, not a form.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Don't try to solve it at the mind level. Let the mind go. Just come to presence, beingness. One of the qualities of consciousness, if I can use that word, is beingness. formless, endless, infinite beingness. No borders, no edges, no limitations, no definitions, nothing to seek. Wholeness, pure infinity. We refer to consciousness as I, as the self, as presence, as beingness. But the experience is beyond any definition, beyond the mind. The self is beyond the mind. It doesn't matter the words, it doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter. But to recognize that I am this borderless presence, infinite borderless presence, no borders. That's the same I am that right now hears these words, and it's the same I am that right now speaks these words. Ananda, you're right. So a vasana is actually a mind event, but we can dissolve it by working with the sensation, letting the contracted energy forms dissipate. So in fact, doing the yoga of release does not imply buying into the level of relativity. Yes. A vasana is a mind event. That has also the sensory aspect to it. It's a more of a body-mind event than purely a mind event. Except if you expand the term mind by include the feeling state, then yes, it is a mind event that includes the feeling state. That's more at the feeling level than at the mentation level. So working with the sensation is the correct approach to the vasana, as opposed to working at the mentation. Working at the sensation, releasing the sensation, noticing the borderless, spacious quality of consciousness surrounding the sensation is a way to release the vasana and to invite the vasana to relax in the infinite space that's around it, and to return to home, to return to the infinity of consciousness, to dissolve in the infinity of consciousness. But that is without a personal intention. There is no personal intention involved in it. It is simply a recognition that it is so, that there is the vastness of presence that is available for the entire, let's say, relaxation and the freedom of the vasana into the space. So the contracted energies, yes, they dissipate at the feeling level once you apply, let's say, this yogic approach, practice, and doing the yoga of release does not imply buying into the level of relativity. Doing the yoga does not imply buying into the level of relativity. Level of relativity.
Like,
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, like people get into hatha yoga, for example, and it becomes a huge part of their life, and yet it's really a relative I, a relative me doing a thing.
No.
It's the level of relativity in a sense.
Yeah. No, yoga. The yoga of today is a bastardization of what yoga is. It's really not what yoga is about. It's the yoga does not have to do with the body-mind. It's a it's one of the I would say final tools that, when used properly, realign the entire field, the entire realm, according to our understanding. So first there is the understanding that I am consciousness and consciousness is universal. And then there is the realignment of the entire field according to that understanding. And that requires a certain guidance and a certain specific application of this yoga.
It's peculiar. When I studied this with John Klein, I didn't understand.
Well, maybe
I didn't understand that connection, and so how did I miss that? You know, but I just thought it was, we were doing this amazingly interesting yoga, and then we were also contemplating the absolute. And I never took it that seriously to dissolve on the sensation level, because I thought that the direct yoga, the direct path, you might say, was totally etheric, whatever. You wouldn't do something with this imagined realm, you know, to get there. Well, now I see it's not a getting there, it's something else that we're talking about. Not a getting there, but going into the ease of being, as he would use the term.
Yeah. Being is ease. And getting somewhere is complication. So we recognize being, we recognize beingness, we recognize I as beingness. And then there is the sadhana of the releasing of the vasanas and stabilizing as the self. And some people have a theoretical understanding, and they say all is the self, and but without the dissolution of the vasanas and the complete relaxation of the field, it is just a theoretical understanding. Well, thank you all very much. Very lovely to be with you again, as usual, and we'll see you again very soon. Okay, namaste, everybody. Be happy, be well. Thank you for your company.